This week I'm making espresso granita, and I'm making one batch with just regular sugar and then another batch with honey. And then I'll be discussing the differences between the final product. So here are my ingredients. I have Dunkin' Donuts Original Blend Coffee, Great Value Sugar and Honey, Kahlua, and then some lemons and some oranges. To make my coffee, I'm just using a regular coffee maker, and I used about 4 to 5 tablespoons of coffee mix to make the coffee. So here is the granita before it's been frozen. This is the sugar batch. I didn't have a fine zest grater, so I just cut off zest with a knife, so the pieces are pretty big, which is unfortunate. Here in the plastic Tupperware container is the honey-based granita before it's frozen, obviously. So after being in the fridge for about an hour, I put them into the freezer. And as you can see, crystals have formed along the sides. The plastic container, which is the honey, froze much faster. So I will have to be more careful in future runs. So this is the honey batch, and it's freezing much quicker than what I expected, and I think that's because I'm using plastic Tupperware for this batch. Normally, honey lowers the freezing point of water, so much less sugar is required compared to regular sugar. For this reason, we can use half the amount of honey in this batch than we used sugar in the other batch. So here's the regular sugar batch, and as you can see, it's frozen a bit more. Granitas like this have about 15 to 20% sugar content. Ice-based desserts such as this granita contain sugar, water, and lemon juice. The lemon juice helps cut the sweetness and also adds flavor. And the pectin from the cell walls of the fruit makes a softer ice. So after about 15 minutes, the regular sugar mixture is still kind of struggling to freeze, but the honey-based mixture and the Tupperware is doing great. As you can see, it's coming together. Good crystals are forming, but it'll take a few more times in the freezer to be totally done. The sugar-based granita is finally coming together. It's still pretty liquidy, but it's kind of holding its shape, which is nice. As you can see with the honey-based granita, it's much lighter in color. It's just because there's more air incorporated into the crystals, but it's come together pretty well. And I'll probably do a few more runs in the freezer just to dry it out. So after about another 20 minutes, the sugar-based granita is still not fully crystallized. And finally here, the ice-based granita looks like it's close to a stopping point. Good crystals are forming, and it's become much lighter. I'll probably let it go for a few more runs in the freezer though, to try it out once again. So I finished the 2 batches of granita, and as you can see, the honey-based granita has a finer crystals compared to the regular sugar-based granita. The honey-based granita also has much softer crystals than the regular sugar-based granita. So I just finished the espresso granita, and I did prefer the one with sugar in it. I kind of have a sweet tooth, and I thought it was a lot sweeter than the one with honey in it. The one with honey had a very distinct honey flavor, I thought, and I'm just not a big fan of honey. What I thought was interesting is the honey granita. The crystals were much smaller, and it was much easier to move my fork, kind of mix it up, as compared to the one with sugar in it. And I stirred it each about, I would say, 10 times, and I kind of varied the time between Sometimes I did 10 minutes, sometimes I did 15 minutes. It just depended on how frozen, I guess, the mixture was. But yeah, it was okay. I probably won't make it again. I really like coffee, but I don't really care for coffee desserts, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think it went okay.